Hey guys, this is Tyler here. This is a message for mostly younger guys, but this will also include some older men out there. And you should try to get a passport ASAP if you're from a first world country, especially a country like US, Canada, England. Okay, many people may know that the State Department had recently stopped issuing passports for at least 5 or 6 months, and it may currently still be paused. People who've applied for passports in America, USA, are unable to get passports at the moment. And this is really bizarre, honestly. I think it made sense when they were shut down for maybe 2 months, 3 months. But over time, you start wondering if this actually is an indicator of something deeper and something more worrisome. And I've spoken before on my channel about getting a second passport or second residency in a different country. But many people out there, many guys don't even have a passport from their own country, from a place like USA or Canada. And I think it's very wise to really look into getting one as soon as you can. I don't know for certain if the US still has this restriction where they're not issuing passports, the State Department, but this is certainly very bizarre. For any younger guys out there, I think this is kind of a sign of things to come in the future. Who knows? In the future, they may make it very restrictive to obtain your U.S. passport, which ultimately means that you can't legally leave the country. What also may happen in the future is they may make it extremely expensive also to obtain a passport. For some reason, they could impose some kind of tax on U.S. passports where you have to pay mega fee to get a passport. I could definitely see this happening in maybe 5 or 10 years. And this is one of the reasons why I think you should get one as soon as possible. And also, you don't know how countries are going to become more restrictive in the future. They could have a lot more travel restrictions. We obviously saw during this COVID situation many travel restrictions. This could be just a sign of the times to come, and you definitely would want to have a passport as soon as you can get one, because if for any reason you have to leave the country, if there's major problems in US or Canada or any other first world country, you'll need this document to leave. And that's why you should really be on top of this and seeing what your options are and just getting it. I mean, it's not that much to get a US passport right now or a Canadian passport, and it'll just give you more security. Because if you have to leave the country, what will you do? I've read of cases of guys who were like criminals in the US, they didn't have a passport. They had to get out of the country, and they had to basically order a passport and wait for it, and then eventually they were caught. Now, I strongly think that crime is wrong of any kind, but we could look at a case like Ulbricht, this famous Ulbricht guy associated with cryptocurrency and his very world-renowned website. It was called the Silk Road. And he was actually in the process of getting fake passports. These were very legit fake passports, and they did not arrive in time. He should have done this before. He didn't. He waited too long. And obviously we know the story. He was arrested and he was given like a life sentence in prison. And this is just a example here. This obviously was a case of an illegal crime that he committed. But at the same time, a guy could also be involved with something that was very legitimate, and they still went to jail or prison or any other thing. A guy who, say, is put in jail because they owe child support that they absolutely cannot pay. There's all sorts of situations here, and there's so many different areas where they can basically restrict you from obtaining a U.S. passport nowadays. This is why I say younger guys really should be on top of this, because as you get older, you'll have more things that can put you at risk of not being able to get a passport. Any kind of felony, you won't be able to get a passport. Any tax situation, back tax or whatever, can't get a passport often. If you'll need child support, if there's any alimony or ex-spousal situation through a divorce, they won't give you a passport. Even certain misdemeanors, you can't get a passport at that point in time. There's so many things that can bar you from getting a U.S. passport. And I think this list is just going to go up in the future. And also, like I said, I think it's going to become very expensive. getting a US passport in the future. And while many countries are still accessible with the US passport, you might as well get one now, because many countries could become more restrictive with US passport holders. We saw this during the COVID situation, and this could become the norm in the near future. So that's why you should be on top of this as soon as you can. And also understand, like I've spoken about with second residency and second passports, your home passport is the first step in going through this other process. The second passport or second residency, you'll need the passport from your home country. That's why this is the very first step you should do. For you younger guys out there, just go through the process. If you have to get your parents to fill a form, I got my first passport when I was 13 years old. Get a passport. For guys who are teenagers, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, guys who are younger, go ahead and get the passport. It's worth having, and you don't know the kind of situation that could arise in 3 years, in 5 years, or whenever. And this may be very useful to have at this point in time. Just remember, this first passport is the first step in your journey to getting a second passport or second residency. So just simply do it today. Give me your feedback on this video, and thank you.